if I have a chance, I'm always gonna go. Like I'm never gonna back down. You know that TikTok song that goes, "Never back down, never what, never give up." You know, like that's
Yeah. Going to golf, you started at the age of 5. How did it all begin?
My dad is a very avid golfer. He took me to the driving range one day and I just picked it up.
Travel a lot.
I really, really enjoy it. I think that is when I truly fell in love with golf.
Do you have any favorite ones?
Chambers Bay. When I was playing my practice round, I think I was more focused on taking good pictures than I was like charting the course. Every hole I was like,
One of your goals would be to one day play in the LPGA.
it's a dream.
What do you think about the golf scene in Singapore?
It's just expensive. Green fees can go up to $500 per round.
Okay, say you don't want to be competitive. Say you just want to be a casual golfer. Just learning the ropes, just rocking up to the driving range, pay a couple bucks.
I mean, anyone can do that, I would say. Let me work it out for you. So,
You hit a recent major milestone when you became the first ever Singaporean golfer to win the NCAA Conference Championship. Well, what does that mean to you?
it was crazy.
Define it.
I didn't expect it at all. Like, I remember people saying that Singaporean women are not very talented in golf. And so I just wanted to prove them wrong. It's like a testament to what we've been building on for the past few years.
Let's dive more into when you mentioned performance anxiety. Like, what happened, and how did you cope with it this time around?
I'm Hailey. I'm a Team Singapore golfer. 20 years old, and I'm a fourth year senior at the University of Minnesota.
Wonderful. Okay, so before we get into golf, like, tell me more about yourself. Like, what do you enjoy doing in your free time?
I love to hang out with my friends and family, but I also like my quiet time, if you know what I mean. I recently started to really enjoy working out, so I make sure I get at least one workout in every day. Um, Obviously, I love golf.
Mm-hmm.
I love to eat and cook. I actually recently started a Instagram account for my food adventures. It's called The Lowdown, self plug. And I'm also secretly talented in arcade basketball.
Wow, there's a wonderful set of interests and abilities. I was just speaking to Singapore swimmer Nick Mahabir yesterday. I mean, he's based in California. So I understand you also studied 3 years in California, yeah, at California
Yeah,
Baptist University. So
yeah.
yeah, what made the transition into the University of Minnesota for your senior year? Because I think I saw somewhere that you said that it was like your childhood dream, right?
Not really, not childhood dream to study in Minnesota per se. It's kind I mean, Minnesota is like kind of out there. So,
Hmm.
um, it was always my childhood dream to play college golf at a high
Yeah.
level. And while I was at CBU, I always felt like I was destined for more. And I always felt like this can't be this can't be it for me,
Mm.
like I have to get more out of my college career. But in my 3 years there, I never actually found the perfect time to say, you know what, like, I mean, like, I never actually found the perfect time to take that leap of faith and say, you know what, I'm gonna take my chances on me and I'm gonna try to get a better deal.
Mhm.
Because also, as we know, like studying in the US is very expensive, and I was on a full scholarship at CBU, and being in the transfer portal actually risks your like the amount of scholarship you get, because if you don't get into a new school, you might not even get a scholarship, and my parents would then have to fund me, and that would take like I think $200,000, which we don't
Mhm.
have.
Mhm.
So um yeah, and then the perfect time for me to take a chance on myself was right after I won the conference championships. I was like, okay, this is it. This is my chance. Like, I just won my conference championship. There's no way I'm not gonna get into the school. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
that's pretty much it.
that sounds kind of stressful. I mean, to go through. Was it like, I mean, you said the transfer portal and everything, but I mean, at least you did win the conference championship, and that did smoothen it out a bit, yeah.
Honestly, it was a very long and stressful process.
Okay. Yeah,
Like,
that's what I thought.
yeah, so at first I was like really excited because the day the transfer portal opened, I was in it and I had a bunch of schools emailing me and they're like, "We want you. When can we set up a call?" And I was like, "Oh gosh, I'm gonna go to like Stanford.
Mm,
Like everyone wants me." But then things didn't turn out that way.
yeah.
I had a lot of issues with the transferring of my credits.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a lot of schools couldn't take me for that reason because the NCAA actually requires a fixed percentage of your credits towards your degree being transferred to your new university.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of schools did not was like they were not able to get that 60% from
Mm-hmm.
CBU. So that's where I struggle a lot in the transfer portal. And I was actually very worried that
Mm-hmm.
I was not gonna get into any school because of this reason. And I was like, oh no, what did I just do? I can't even go back to school. And like, but things worked out. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so grateful to be here. It's actually a funny story with Minnesota actually.
Yeah.
So I was talking to the previous coach in my freshman year, Coach Redmond, and we were talking for like a month, and then she emailed me saying, "Oh, I'm really sorry. We already recruited, so we don't have space for you anymore." And I was talking to my now coach, Coach Real, when she was at Kennesaw State University, and she recruited me, but I turned that down. So when I was in the transfer portal, the team was actually full, and she didn't have space for me. And one day, one of her players decided to take a gap year. And she had completely forgotten about me at this point because she thought that I would have gone to another school already. Um, but one of my friends actually asked her, like, hey, do you have a spot? 2 hours after someone decided to take a gap year. So she did have a spot. And so I guess it was just like fate, like I was meant to be here, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
now that I think about it, it's pretty crazy.
It is, and no, I'm so happy everything worked out, and like you took a chance on yourself, and yeah, I'm just very happy that everything worked out in the end. And yeah, like okay, so like next, I want to ask, like, have you been living alone in the US for like the past 3 4 years?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, so I mean that works well because you said you like cooking, and so what do you think are the main differences between living in the US and Singapore?
Um, Honestly, my boyfriend calls me the Singapore's number one fan because I love Singapore so much. The only thing I don't like is the weather, which we talked about.
Yeah.
But I just think that while living in Singapore, we just don't think about how actually awesome our country is. Like
Yeah.
you can get from Jurong to Changi in less than an hour, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And like you can literally take the bus or the MRT anywhere you want, and the most time it's gonna take you is 1.5 hours. And you never have to worry about getting robbed or like getting mugged or like getting
Mm,
shot
mm,
in the public transport. Whereas in the US, if you go to some like really shady places and you're not smart about things, those are
mm,
things that you actually have to worry about. Like I actually just posted a vlog on my Instagram yesterday, and like I was taking the bus to my practice facility, and it took me 45 minutes by public transport.
mm.
Whereas if you drove, it would have taken you 7 minutes. So
Wow.
like that is something that we actually just take for granted so much in Singapore is how good our public transport is. And another thing that I really, really, really love about Singapore because I love to eat and I love Singapore food so much um, is how affordable and how delicious our food is. Like we can literally go to any hawker center and have a full meal, drink included for $5. Like food in the US is so expensive.
Mm,
Like even if you just want like something casual, like a Chipotle or like Taco Bell or something, it's gonna cost you at least like $11 to $12, which I think is absurd. But it's also why the reason I learned how to cook,
Hmm.
because as a Singaporean who loves to go to hawker centers and spend $5 on a whole entire meal, I was not willing to spend $12 every day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get what you mean. I mean, firstly, I always tell people the same thing, like, can get from one end of Singapore to the other end for like max like 1 hour, 1 hour 30 minutes by car. And yeah,
Yeah.
Singapore, yeah, it's so convenient. And no, secondly, about the food, like, I totally get what you mean. I resonate with that because I said earlier, I was living in Australia the past like recently, like for like 3 4 years, and like US, right? It's so extremely expensive outside. Like the same thing, right? Taco Bell is like what, 11 12 bucks. And I mean, I've been
Mm-hmm.
cooking since young, so I always cook a lot of Asian food when I'm back home because oh my God, the Asian food in Australia is, yeah, it doesn't come close to Singapore's food. And yeah, and
Oh.
that's also the reason, right? Like groceries in Australia are like super cheap, so it's good
Mm-hmm.
like to get groceries and cook your own stuff. So yeah, no, I totally get what you mean. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully your cooking has been getting better, man. Like every day.
I would say it's pretty good. Like, in the time that I've been in Minnesota, I actually learned how to make my own dumplings, like
Oh
from
yeah,
scratch, from flour. So I think that might be like my biggest achievement yet.
nice. No, that's beautiful. I love dumplings. And also, yeah, no, and yeah, I told you earlier I was speaking to Nick Mahabia, and he's living in California, right? I mean, he's been living
Hmm.
in San Diego for quite some time now. And yeah, he told me he doesn't take public transport in California. He said things can get wild there, people pee and stuff on the train.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't even take public transport at all. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, it's like really crazy. Like, sometimes I go on the train and I see people doing drugs.
Oh my
Like,
God.
like I'm not kidding. Like this is my set of keys,
Yeah,
and you can see a pepper spray and
yeah.
a whistle here, just
Uh,
because
yeah, you
like
need that.
things get crazy. Yeah,
Oh,
you just
that's
have to be
crazy.
really smart about what you do.
100%. Got to keep yourself safe. Yeah, okay, so
Yeah,
let's go into golf. So, if I'm not wrong, you started at the age of 5. How did it all begin?
yeah. Pretty boring story. My entire family plays golf. Like
Yeah.
my dad is a very avid golfer, so he started off with my older sister, who is 5 years older than I am. Um, and just very naturally, like he took me to the driving range one day, and I just picked it up. And the same thing happened with my brother at the age of 3. And before and while I was playing golf in like the very first few years, I was also a gymnast. So I had to make a very difficult choice at the age of like 8 or 9 whether I wanted to do gymnastics or golf. And I chose golf. But to be very honest, I hated golf. Like I dreaded going to practice every day when I was like in kindergarten. All I wanted to do was stay at home and play.
Yeah.
But then, like, I just fell in love with it along the way. I mean, I really enjoyed doing, like, going to the driving range and, like, going down the course with my entire family. I think that was, like, a really good way for us to bond. And I don't know if you know, I don't know how much research you did about me, but my mom plays golf. My sister was a ex-national golfer. She's a lawyer now, so she stopped playing. And my brother is also on the junior national team. And I have been on the national team for 6 years. So I would say like we're a pretty high performing family as far as golf goes.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know that your brother was I knew the rest, but I didn't know your brother was a junior national golfer. But that's
Yeah.
interesting. And no, I think that's a fun activity for the family. I mean, until it gets really hot and humid out there in Singapore. But
Oh
you travel a lot,
gosh.
yeah, you travel a lot. So for
Yeah. Like
tournaments.
it's actually really good. Like I really, really enjoy it. I think that is when I truly fell in love with golf.
Mm,
When I was able to like get out of Singapore and like get out of my comfort zone and meet new people outside
mhm.
of like the small golfing community that we have in Singapore. I think that is what I love the most about it. Just getting to meet new people and learning about um where they're from, and just like golf really opened up my eyes to see actually how big and how different the world is.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
that yeah.
So no, just a curious question. So when you go for these tournaments, or you go for like if you're in the US and you go to these different golfing locations to play your competitions, like what do you study the ground before you play, or like how do you or do you play the ground before you actually compete in like to get experience or to understand?
So usually, in most times we will get at least one practice round. So we have to like learn the course like really quick,
Mm,
and just adapt to the conditions. Because like although golf looks very simple, it's actually very complex.
yeah,
Like I think it's very complex.
it is. It is.
Like different golf courses have different types of grass. They have like the winds can be howling, the humidity plays a part, temperature also plays a part in like how far your ball goes. So you really just have to pay attention to all these details. And I think like a key factor in playing well and being able to play so many different golf courses is adaptability because you really have to be able to adapt really, really fast. Um, and also being the kiasu Singaporean that I am, I'll always look the course out before
Mm,
we go and I'll see the course layout and I'll kind of plan my strategy around the course. I mean, I think that's just like a Singaporean thing lah, we're just super kiasu.
yeah, no, that's nice. That's really diligent. And no, I think you know I would do it. I would do the same thing as well. So, yeah, I mean, okay, so I know you've won many accolades since you started golf, but you hit a recent major milestone when you became the first ever Singaporean golfer to win the NCAA Conference Championship. And not only that, you are actually the first golfer in California Baptist University history to win an individual title at a conference tournament. So how does that feel to you? Well, what does that mean to you?
Um, Honestly, it meant like so much to me. Like, if I was gonna tell you every single detail, this interview will be 5 hours long. But I won't. I'll just keep it short and simple. Um, for me, it was a really big milestone because um before this event, I had lost in two playoffs
Mm,
in 2022. So I was struggling with performance anxiety and I was struggling to perform well under pressure. And when I knew I was going into a playoff for the championship, I was like, I mean, I should
mhm,
have been excited about it. I should have been like, let's go. The first thought was
mm,
like, oh, because I was like, oh no, I have to do this
yeah,
again. And like, I, I don't know, like something just clicked on that first playoff hole. So it was four girls, and I think I was the last one to putt on that hole, and someone had already made birdie, and I was like, as I saw the ball go in, I knew I had to make it to move on, right? And I just stood there and I was like, well, if you're gonna make a putt, you gotta do it now. Like this is the time to make it,
mm,
and then I like in that moment, like I wish I could describe that feeling to you because like I was just so put together. Like I
yeah,
wasn't nervous and like I had so many people around me, but it just felt like I was alone. It was just me, my putter, the ball, and the hole. And
yeah,
there was no other outcome other than me making the putt.
mm,
Like that's just how I felt. Like I knew as I was standing over the ball, like this is gonna go in the hole.
mm.
And that was just honestly the best feeling ever.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded
Mhm.
like you were in the zone. I mean, I definitely, I can't. Yeah, it's an indescribable feeling. But yeah, no, so happy for you, and yeah, it's amazing stuff. But let's dive more into when you mentioned performance anxiety. Like, what happened, and how did you cope with it? Like, did you do anything to cope with it for this time around?
So like backstory about how I started to like kind of like crack under pressure
Mm,
was in 2022 in the SEA Games. I had very narrowly missed out on an individual medal.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was really upset.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted that team medal so badly. So I don't know if you know much about the format of how we play the SEA Games. So we play 3 rounds of individual matches, and then we move on to match play for the team matches. So we go into kind of a bracket to determine like first, second, third, fourth, and so on. And I just wanted a medal so badly because in like I remember people saying that um Singaporean women like are not very talented in golf. Like paraphrasing here, but that
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
message. Like not many people believed in the women's team because like there were no results per se. And so I wanted to prove them wrong. I was like, no, we have what it takes. Like, let me go get a medal. And then so we ended up tying the bronze medal matches. Like I won my match, and my teammate Aloysia had lost hers, so we had to go into playoff. So that was actually the first playoff that I lost. We played 4 holes, and I lost to a chip in. I was also chipping, but I thought my ball was going to go in, and it just slid past the hole. I can still remember it, and it still breaks my heart to this day.
Mm.
And I was just so upset, and I was like, I felt like I had let not only like me and my teammates down, I had let the entire country down because this is the games, like this is like where you want to perform, and I just felt so terrible about it. And that is where I started to kind of develop performance anxiety because I was just so scared to lose anymore. I was just afraid of failure. Um, and I've been struggling with it, and I'm still struggling with it because I, like, honestly, like, who isn't afraid to fail?
Mm.
But along the way, I learned that like you have to fail. You have to fail to win. You can't win all the time, and if you are gonna let these small failures dictate how you feel and like how you feel about yourself and how you believe in yourself, you are never gonna be a winner. Um, you have to take these failures and really delve into it, learn about it, and learn why you you failed this time so that you can win.
No, no. Thanks for being so transparent and honest, and thanks for sharing, that sort of vulnerable side because I think what you mentioned really makes sense because I think in life there's always ups and downs, and I always tell myself to take the positives out of the negatives. And to me, there's no success without failures. I mean, that's how you learn. And no, I think it's yeah, you shouldn't beat yourself too much about it. And definitely, you always want to bounce back. You always want to be better. You always want to strive and improve yourself. No one's perfect from the beginning. You got to put in the hard work as you do, and keep getting better and focus on yourself. It's not easy. I mean, especially at the highest level. I can't say that for myself in any sport, but no, I think what you're doing has, I think what you've been doing has been awesome. I think you're representing the country well, and well, I mean, people would look at results and say all that kind of stuff. But more importantly is that you're improving on yourself. You have a vision, and you stick with that vision, and you just keep going and going and just going until you see the results, like the one that you got at the NCAA, which is amazing and terrific. I mean, you can only build from there and get better, right? So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like the me winning that conference championship was like it was crazy.
defining.
I did not. I mean, like I didn't expect it at all. I just like walking on the last hole. I didn't even know that I was close.
Mm-hmm.
My coach came up to me and asked me like, "Do you know where you are?" And I was like, "I'm 153 meters away. I'm gonna hit 6 iron." And then he was like, "No, but you know where you are?" And I was like, "What do you mean? I'm right here." And then he was like, "You are in the lead." I was like, "Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I think like me winning that conference championship was um not only for me, it was kind of for Singapore golf because it showed that what the Singapore Golf Association is doing on the high performance side is working. It's like a testament to what we've been building on for the past few years. Like golf in Singapore, like to say, I mean, like no disrespect to like the
Oh yeah,
previous
of course.
players, but like we kind of suck.
Yeah.
Like, like that was like a long time ago though. And
Yeah.
for SGA to like put their foot down and say, no, we're gonna be one of the best like in the world. And I think like we are on the way there. I think that was like a very bold move and we're definitely going in the right direction right now. So like me winning that conference championship said so much about like me and like how SG is developing the players.
No, yeah, definitely. I think, like you mentioned, yeah, Singapore golf has come a long way. You've set that marker down, and not only the Singapore Golf Association is proud of you, but I'm pretty sure, like myself and a lot of Singaporeans out there are super proud and rooting for you, you know? And
Hey.
yeah. So yeah, in 2021, you said that one of your goals would be to one day play in the LPGA. How's that still
Yeah.
on? Is that still on the cards or still the plans?
I mean, it's a dream.
Yeah.
To be to be very honest, like only 1%, not even 1%, probably like 0.1%
Mm.
of the top female amateur players in the world actually make enough money on the LPGA or like the Epson Tour, like LET, to sustain their career. And like as much as I love golf, and I would love for it more than anything to be my career, it might not be a viable one
Mm.
because of like how expensive things are getting. Like as much as like if I had unlimited money, I would for sure I would chase my dream until I'm on the LPGA. But that's just not viable. That I don't have unlimited money, unfortunately.
Mhm.
And so like I would love to be on the LPGA, but I kind of has to see like how good I am
Yeah.
and if I can just make enough money with golf to sustain a lifestyle and to one day have a family, you know?
Yeah. Let's see how that goes, right? Never say never
Yeah.
at this stage. Yeah, you're still in your senior
Well, I
year.
mean, I'm gonna
Yeah.
try,
Yeah,
but
100%.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
also realistic.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, that's a
hmm
Singaporean mindset there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but honestly, how do you balance your studies and your golf? Because I understand there's so much that goes into maintaining that very high level as an student athlete, college athlete, and also you travel a lot for tournaments all the time. So how do you do it? Do you have any tips for aspiring, like, I don't know, college athletes out there?
Honestly, it's just good time management and discipline. You just have to know what you have to do and when you have to do it and get it done. Um, for example, like if you set aside that time to do homework, you are gonna do homework and nothing else. Don't think about anything else. All you're doing and thinking of is your homework. If you are going to go for practice, and if you're going to practice for 3 hours, that's 3 hours of practice. Don't think about anything else. Don't do anything else. Just go practice. Like, just make the most out of your time. You actually, like, if you do things like that, you'll find that you actually have a lot of time. Like, for me, I, I'm gonna be honest, like, I have a lot of free time now. Like,
Mhm.
it's honestly quite insane, like, how much free time I have. Um, between getting workouts in, getting schoolwork done, studying, cooking, and going for practice, I come home and I sit on my bed and I'm like, I don't know what to do now. Like, I'm so free.
No, that's
So I think
yeah,
that like if we plan our day properly and like be intentional about things, we actually have a lot of time. Like
yeah,
there's no reason why you shouldn't have time, you know.
that's nice. I mean, but is there a difference, like in the education system within Singapore and the US? Like US balance it out, whereas Singapore is more. about studies?
Well, like I don't know much about the Singapore
Oh yeah.
university system because I
Mm,
haven't been through it.
mm,
I mean, my sister has, but I never really cared enough to ask.
yeah.
I think that a lot of people have the misconception that in the US, like education is just like it's a breeze. You don't have to
Mhm,
even have to do anything, and like their math
mhm,
is like 1+1 or something like that. A lot of people think that, but actually it's not. I would say that I agree that Singapore does have a more rigorous academic system where it's like you have to know like a lot of things and you have to be really good at a lot of things to be able to like I don't know graduate with honors, right? In the US I'm not saying that you don't have to know a lot of things. But I would say it's more hands-on. You learn in class, you do your homework to revise what you learn and then you move on. When Singapore is like you learn in class, then you learn some more at home, and then you do your homework, and then you learn some more in class, then you learn more at home to keep up in class.
yeah.
Yeah, but like you still have to be a good student. You still have to get your homework in on time. You have to know your stuff to like do well in your exams. And also our grading system is very difficult. Like you have to get at least I think like a 94% to get an A,
Wow. In the US?
right? Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy high. 94 out of 100.
Like 94%, yeah. Which
Wow,
I
that's
think like is quite absurd. Like
yeah.
because in Singapore, like I obviously like I only went up to Sec 4. Like I only
Mm,
took O levels, but A1 was 75 points.
yeah, yeah,
So when I came here and A was 94, I was like,
yeah. That's
whoa.
that's really high. I think in Australia it was for mine was I think it was 85. Yeah, but 94
Yeah.
it's really really high.
So like I think like wow the stuff is easier like but not like ridiculously easy. While it's easier, you still have to be on top of things to get a good grade.
Just a quick one. I remember back when I was younger, I was going through an incredibly tough period in my life where I had no one to talk to about my problems. There was no place I could share my honest thoughts and feelings because I was just so afraid of being judged by people. And I realized that was so bad for my mental well being. It's like bottling up everything and just waiting for a day where it all explodes. So, no, we're not gonna let that happen for you. Because my team and I have developed a free social app called huddle.so where you can share all your problems anonymously, whatever is currently on your mind that's bothering you, whatever is making you upset or giving you sleepless nights. This is a non-toxic app where you can just be yourself, heal, and make many wholesome friends that will be there for you to support you during difficult times. The app is currently available on iOS at the moment, so good news for iPhone users. But we are working really hard to get an Android version out as soon as we can so we don't miss out on the rest of you. So trust me, download the app, give it a shot, and I guarantee you that your future you will thank you for taking care of yourself. I'll put the link in the description below as well, and I'll see you in Harvest.
What do you think about the golf scene in Singapore? Like, do you think more awareness is needed? What do you think can be done?
Um, I think golf is a very niche sport.
Mm-hmm.
It's an acquired taste, If you
Mm,
if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you really don't.
mm,
I've seen both sides. Obviously, I'm on the side that loves it. Um, but I think that golf, like very unfortunately, is not very accessible to all
mm,
because it's just expensive.
yeah.
Like I I'm really, really lucky to have parents who are able to support me financially and like with time also and for me to chase my dream. And I'm also really lucky to have sponsors like Titleist and FootJoy who provide me with golfing equipment to help me in this area too. But if you want to be a high performance golfer in Singapore, there is a substantial amount of money that you need to have like put into like your development. Like that's just harsh reality. Like in a
Mm-hmm.
perfect world, everyone will be able to pick up a club and decide that they want to play on the PGA Tour and it's gonna happen. But you know how expensive it is in Singapore, especially, it's just not super accessible to everyone. Like I wish it was, but it's not. Like green fees can go up to $500 per round, and that's just not an amount of money where
Mm-hmm.
an average Joe can drop, you know. I wish it were different. I really, really do. And I wish
Mm-hmm.
that um something can be done to make golf more accessible. Like I'm seeing more people on Instagram like post that they're going to the driving range, which I think is great. Well, but I wish that something can be done to make golf more accessible to all, you know. So people don't come up to me and say like, "Oh, you play golf, you must be very rich, right?" Like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not super rich. I'm just very lucky that my parents were able to afford it.
So yeah, no, yeah, that's why I wanted to ask. Like, why do you want to be like? Okay, say you don't want to be competitive. Say you just want to be a casual
Mhm.
golfer. Just learning the ropes, just rocking up to the driving range, pay a couple of bucks, like 50, 100 balls, and just get better from there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anyone can do that, I would say. Like, okay, like, let me work it out for you. So, if you just want to play for fun, you probably need like maybe like you start off with one club. That's maybe like if you buy second hand, probably like
Mm,
100, maybe, or like less than 100. Actually, I don't really know. Probably
yeah.
less than 100 if you don't want something super high end. Um, and then you can use that club forever. You don't have to change. And every time you want to go to the range, it's probably gonna cost you like a couple of dollars. Like, yeah, I would say like $5, $10 maximum.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to play golf for fun, like, and just like have fun at the range, I don't think it's very expensive. Like, there
Mm,
are a few public ranges in Singapore, so it is accessible. But if you want to like get out on the courses, that's where your wallet will hurt.
mm.
Mhm.
And you got to be good enough to get on the course, right?
Oh yeah,
In
of
Singapore,
course.
in Singapore,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean in the US
yeah.
you can like anyone can. Oh, a fire alarm just went off. Well, in the US anyone can like pay $20 and go down on the golf course and fool around, you
Yeah.
know.
You
But
wanna
in
go make
Singapore you
sure
have to pass a test.
you're okay,
Ah,
or your
it's
building's
not
on fire or
mine.
something.
It's not mine, so I don't think I don't think
Okay,
I'm in danger.
cool. If you smell anything bad, yeah, let me know.
Yeah, okay,
Anyway,
I
yeah,
will run, no worries.
yeah, we're about to end soon, but yeah, no, yeah, where were we? We were talking about the golf ranges. Yeah, I mean, in
Oh
Singapore,
yeah.
you gotta reach a certain standard to be out on the greens, and yeah, I see a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people traveling out to like JB, Malaysia,
Malaysia, yeah.
Thailand.
Desaru. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So I
so
mean that
yeah.
is an option. Yeah.
But when I was in Australia, I mean, just personal experience, I see like everyone knows how to play golf there. Like, so it's a really, really casual thing. Like, I think it's really accessible there. Like, it's very different from Singapore. Yeah, I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
think maybe it also depends where you live in. Do you think that plays a
Yep,
factor? Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, because in the US, like I said, anyone can just pay $20 to go on a public or municipal golf course. Whereas in Singapore, that's not an option. If you pay $20, the most you can go to is mini golf.
Yeah.
Um, so
I mean, even in Singapore, it's so hard to find mini golf. Man. Like,
oh
it's like
yeah,
they're closing and everything. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I think there's only one
mini
mini
even
golf.
mini golf is so expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you want to
I
know something about me? I
yeah.
am horrible at mini golf.
Oh
I
my. Yeah.
suck.
Yeah.
Like whenever I go with my friends, they always think I'll be really good. I'm
Mm,
horrible. Like
yeah.
I think a non-golfer can beat me any day.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I've liked mini golf. Like you, I'm trash. But I can't find mini golf in Singapore because I think the Holy Moly thing got closed.
Oh yeah, Holy
In
Moly
it,
closed down.
yeah, and yeah, because I played mini golf a lot, like in Australia, and it was so
Yeah.
fun. It was so cheap. It was so good, and yeah. So I really
Yeah, mini
miss
golf
that.
is really fun outside of Singapore. Just because like like here they actually have like huge mini golf courses, which are like 100 over holes,
Yeah.
and like you can just like play the entire day
Wow.
for like $15. Whereas like in Singapore, you're in a room and there's like 18 holes and you're just waiting because it's so crowded.
Yeah. I saw like
It's
one.
just not as enjoyable.
Yeah, I saw like one mini golf here in Singapore, but it's like so high end. Like I don't know why it's so like luxurious, and it's like what more than 50, $80. It's mad. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna go for that.
Might as well go and play real golf.
Exactly. So yeah, no, you traveled to a lot of, no, just as a curious question, you travel a lot to a lot of golf ranges, a lot of different locations to play golf. Like, I mean, the scenery must be really nice, right? At every
Oh
different
my gosh, yeah.
range and everything. So do you have any favorite ones? Like you could at the top of
Yeah.
your head remember?
Like I recently got to play Chambers Bay, which
Hmm.
was amazing. Um, Probably one of my favorite golf courses so far.
Hmm.
Um, the I don't know if you know the significance behind Chambers Bay is
Not
like
really.
it's one of America's like top golf courses. It hosted one US Open, I think, and it hosted the US Amateur also. And actually, my friend won the US Amateur on this course,
Right.
so it was pretty crazy. And it's always been on my bucket list. And being able to play, like it was just so amazing. And I actually played pretty well on my course, so I was really really happy about that. And when I was playing my practice round, I like the views were just so nice. I think I was more focused on taking good pictures than I was like charting the course.
Nice.
Because every hole I was like, you know, yeah, and like another one would be when I got to play in France. We actually played two courses. We played the Golf National, which hosted a Ryder Cup, and they're also gonna play the Olympics on that course, if I'm not wrong. So very cool. And the other course that we played, I'm gonna mispronounce this so badly.
Yeah.
It's called Saint Nom La Broche. In France, that course was so beautiful. It kicked my butt, but it was so pretty. Yeah, I
Wonderful.
mean like and like every single golf course is so pretty. Like I don't think there was a course that I did not enjoy playing.
Beautiful. So yeah, I mean, final question. Aside from the sport itself, what do you think golf teaches you in terms of like, I don't know,
It
values or lessons, like, as a person? What do you think?
like so many things. Honestly, I feel like golf is one of those sports where like everyone should play to learn these values, you know. It teaches you patience because golf is a 5 hour round, like 5 hour game per round, and things don't always go the way you want them to. So you just have to stay patient and believe that, you know, things are gonna be better. It teaches you honesty from a very young age because like I mean like there are people unfortunately there are people who try to cheat, but I like I have a very bad reputation of not cheating but catching people who cheat.
Oh.
Like I'm like whenever I play with people I always like keep track of their score, and then when they submit their score's wrong, like unintentionally or intentionally, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I'm always like, no, like you didn't make that on this hole.
Yeah.
So like I always catch people, you know.
And what do they put
Um
their I don't know what you call it, the token piece nearer to the hole?
oh no 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 no. I mean like okay, if you do that, you're horrible. You
Yeah.
know? Like if you do that, I really don't know what to say. Like you are you're brave. Like you're very bold, you know. Um okay. More things that you can learn. To have good decision making skills because you only have 40 minutes to decide what you want to do and to take that shot. You have to think quickly on your feet. So that's something that golf teaches you. And also how to take calculated risks because sometimes, like more often than not, we are faced with a lot of like risk reward situations. So from a young age, we were exposed to Like, you know what? Like, should I go for it and risk this, or should I play it safe? And more often than not, I like to go for it. Whereas a lot of people like to play it safe, but that's just like who I am. I'm a very to the point. I can't want to say aggressive, but I'm
Yeah.
not a scary person, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think golf like kind of shaped my personality in that way a little bit. Like I just became a bit more brave, a bit more out there. Like golf has taught me to take chances on myself. And like it also taught me to, if I have a chance, I'm always gonna go. You know, like I'm never gonna back down. You know that TikTok song that goes, "Never back down, never what, never give up." You know, like that's
Yeah.
like that's kind of like what I
Yeah.
resound with, not in that voice, not in that TikTok
Yeah.
sound, but like that's kind of like what I feel like. I'm never gonna back down from a challenge if, and like I'm always gonna take a chance. I'm never gonna I'm never gonna back down basically.
Yeah.
Like if, for example, if my coach says like I need someone to make this putt to win, you know, I'm always gonna volunteer. I'm always gonna say like choose me. Like I know I can do it, you know?
Yeah. That's beautiful. No, thanks for sharing that. I think a lot of people will enjoy hearing. It's beautiful advice and life lessons from Hailey Loh. The never back down, never what.
Never give up.
Okay, sweet, sweet.
One was like paraphrasing here, but never back down, never what? Never give up, you know?
Nice.
Two, always go to a place where you are valued. Don't waste your talents on people who don't see the real you and how much you bring to the team. You know, that's not gonna help you, that's not gonna help them. And to always take a chance on yourself, because you never know what might happen, you know? Like you always want to give your all, and like always just want to believe in yourself. And the last thing would be to, if you're gonna do something, be the best at it. You don't be second place. Always try your best and always try to win.